If you're doing high intensity training the way most people interpret it, you might actually be doing it wrong. Because the truth is, HIIT is not about copying someone else's routine. It's about applying the principles to your own recovery ability. Today, I'm walking you through the exact shoulders and arms workout I used, inspired by the philosophy of Mike Mentzer, but modified to actually work for me. 7 working sets, about 40 minutes total, and every set taken seriously. So, let's get into it. So I actually started with dumbbell laterals, but I couldn't find a good spot to record, so unfortunately I don't have the film. And I apologize for this part. My face wasn't in it. I didn't realize, so I'm sorry. But the dumbbell laterals, I did a warm-up set for 10 pounds, and I did a working set, 20-pound dumbbell laterals for 10 reps. I then took a brief rest, did dumbbell curls for about 20 pounds for 6 reps to warm up, and then I did dumbbell curls 40 pounds for 10 reps. Strict form, controlled reps. I was really focused on contracting the biceps, and this is just pure isolation work to directly target the biceps. Um, I'm curling 40 pounds each arm, so my biceps are getting pretty strong. I'm pretty proud of that. I took a brief rest and I went over to do reverse pec fly, 45 pounds for 6 reps as a warm-up, and then I did 90 pounds for 10 reps as my working set to failure, of course. So of course this movement hits the rear delts, which are incredibly important for shoulder balance and long-term shoulder health. A lot of people neglect rear delts, but in a shoulders routine they're essential. One of the biggest misunderstandings about high intensity training is that people think it means doing as little work as possible. That's not totally the idea. The idea is doing only the amount of work required to stimulate growth and no more than you can recover from, because recovery is where the magic actually happens. When you train with true intensity, you're creating a stimulus. But the muscle doesn't grow during the workout, it grows after, when your body repairs the damage and overcompensates. If your recovery ability is exceeded, then progress stops. So the goal becomes finding that sweet spot between stimulus and recovery. And that's exactly why I modified this routine. The classic Mentzer style shoulders and arms routine is extremely minimalist. Typically something like 1 set of lateral raises, 1 set of barbell curls, 1 set of reverse pec fly, 1 set of tricep press downs supersetted with 1 set of dips. So it's very simple, very intense, but after experimenting with it, I realized something about my own recovery ability. My shoulders recover fast. And I also noticed something else. After those movements, I didn't really feel fully activated yet. So I made 2 additions that made the workout dramatically better for me. And I'll get into those shortly. So right here I did a set of triceps press down. I warmed up at about 40 pounds for a couple reps and then did a working set of 50 pounds for about 10 reps. So with these, your elbows stay locked in place and the focus is on full extension at the bottom of the movement. When I come up, I really don't go up too high because I don't really want to use my tendons. So I kind of reach to the point where I'm about right here, and once I start to feel a slight tendon activation, I push back down. And of course, this isolates the triceps and prepares them for the compound movement, the compound pressing later in the workout. So the real key here isn't just the exercises, it's also recovery. So high intensity training works because the stimulus is powerful, but the volume is still controlled. So too much training destroys recovery, but also too little stimulus will prevent growth. So the goal is finding the minimum effective dose that forces the body to adapt. And that dose is different for everyone. That's why experimentation is so important. Don't just take any program as a cure-all. Take it as sort of a general guideline that you can experiment with and figure out what's best for you, because everybody's different and the same training that works for someone might not work for you. So my best recommendation is to start small. Start as small as possible and then go from there. Start with a few exercises, 5 to 7, 1 set taking a failure, a good warm-up, and then see how that works. If you feel like you need a little bit more, if you didn't put enough on the table, then go ahead and do some more. If you can recover from it, then do that. And just take it and just through trial and error, figure out the best program for you. So as promised, I mentioned that I would specify the workouts that I added to make this program ideal for me. And what I added was a set of chin-ups and a shoulder press. So this does a few things. First, chin-ups add a compound biceps movement. So instead of just doing an isolation curl, I now have a heavy compound pulling movement that adds the bicep, that loads the bicep much more aggressively. You get elbow flexion, heavy loading, and more overall fiber recruitment. And then the curls come in and finish the job. So secondly, the shoulder press adds a front delt pressing movement, which also means more tricep stimulation. So instead of just relying on press downs and dips for triceps, We now have another compound driver for growth, and because my shoulders recover quickly, I can handle the extra stimulus without interfering with recovery, and of course, it directly targets the front delt. And about the bicep curls, I honestly just felt it. Like I could just feel that my biceps could go a little bit more. So I knew that I would feel good and feel complete doing that, and the set felt really good. So this is my current hit shoulders and arms routine. 7 working sets, about 40 minutes total, and every set is performed with intent. Inspired by Mike Mentzer's philosophy, but adapted to my own recovery ability. Because the real lesson from high intensity training isn't copying routines; it's learning how to think about training, how to train hard, recover fully, grow, and then repeat.